welcome back to the Loading Up podcast. I am your host, Producer J, along with my co-host, brother Zay.
Yo. What's up, man?
What's going on? Before we get into everything, just want to remind you that if you're watching on YouTube, you can like and subscribe, because that will definitely help us out with the algorithm and such, so we can get out to more people and bring our lovely voices to more ears. And you can also support us by clicking the links in our description, which is our sponsors, which is W Energy. You can use code LUP at checkout to save 10% off of your first order. NordVPN, you can save, it was a 60, I always get this number wrong, 69% or 60 something?
Like 67%.
67, yeah. It's very high. And yes, you can save some money on that. And also Star Force PCs for all your custom and pre-built PC needs. We thanked our sponsors for sponsoring us. With that out of the way, Brother Zay, what have you been playing?
Oh man. So I finished Shattered Space, Starfield.
Oh, you did finish it.
I did finish it. It wasn't very long.
How long was it? Okay, how long was it?
It wasn't very long. It took me about 7.5 hours, maybe. And I was doing side stuff and exploring because it's a handcrafted DLC. You know, it's not like just automatically, it's not auto-generated like other planets are in the systems, It's a handcrafted DLC. So you get to explore a lot of different places, a lot of new places, and do a bunch of side quests. It took me about 7.5 hours. That's was everything. It wasn't that long, honestly. I knew coming up, like, okay, this has got to be the final mission. It's getting toward the end.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I really liked this whole. It delved deeper into the sci-fi element of like space travel with the religion and the zero gravity sections and this vortexes that's going on. It was really cool. I really liked it. So if you like any of that kind of stuff, it's more Starfield. If you enjoyed Starfield, you're gonna enjoy the DLC.
That's kind of the sentiment that I've been hearing and seeing, that if you like Starfield, if you enjoyed your time with Starfield, this is more of that.
Yeah.
I guess the main complaint is that it doesn't do not much to like change the formula like a DLC usually does. But I think the problem is that a lot of people are comparing it to other DLCs that took years to make. Like, people are comparing this DLC to Phantom Liberty, which took like 2.5 years and a budget of 100 million plus, because it was an attempt to fix the game.
Yeah, that's not a fair comparison, though.
It's not. Yeah,
it's really not. Like, they really took their time to revamp that whole game. They didn't do this. Just added on DLC for the game. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's more of what you expect from Starfield.
Right. So I think it's the first DLC. It's not. I don't think are they calling it an expansion?
No, it's just the DLC, Shattered Space DLC.
Yeah, so it's just one DLC. It came out a year after release. It was probably being worked on in tandem with Starfield. Like, they probably branched it off and be like, okay, this is gonna be the DLC. It's not gonna be finished in time for release, but they're gonna release it separately. And then I feel like last week we talked about that people were comparing it to like, oh, it should have been as good as Far Harbor from Fallout 4. Yeah, so
That DLC,
if you like Starfield,
that Far Harbor came out and it was like, what, 4 years after Fallout?
Yeah,
it was like the last of the expansion. So like, it's still not a fair comparison.
Yeah. So either way, if you enjoyed Starfield, then this is right up your alley. So
definitely. Besides Starfield, Shattered Space, been playing Call of Duty like always, but also got into some early access of Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero.
Yes. As you can see in the gameplay that is playing, this is my gameplay actually, because I was very eager to play this game. And yeah, so what are your thoughts? Because I'm a diehard like Dragon Ball fan, so I know how I feel about it. What do you feel?
Like I'm an anime fan. Let's start with saying that. I get all the Dragon Ball Z games anyway. I got Kakarot at launch when it came out. You're playing through Goku's story, so I knew I was gonna get Sparking Zero right off the back. Um, I like it. The attention to detail, the Unreal Engine 5 capabilities in the anime world is absolutely insane. Really good. It plays very well. I gotta get used to like the whole parry and the perception system, but that's fine. It's new little bit of new mechanics compared to the old Tenkaichi games. Um, I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm already in the story because I've been playing the story. Uh, I'm playing, of course, as Goku first, and I'm already up to Super because I just beat Beerus. Um, the game is tough, but it's always been tough, and I gotta talk about it. The whole nonsense of like people can't beat Great Ape Vegeta.
Yeah.
Just wait until you get to Beerus because
Oh, for real?
if you can't beat Great Ape Vegeta, you'll never beat Beerus. Trust me.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. It's because
Trust.
I've been playing mostly like well, I wanted to do, and granted maybe I should wait. I wanted to do the sparking episodes. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been trying to do those. Um but yeah,
Are you talking about like
with
the
Beerus
alternate
is
timelines?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going through the story like canon, right? And then because you could just go back and like
Yeah.
pull up the map and go back to the particular episode or particular choice and do that. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the whole story canon, and I'm gonna go back and do the sparking sides because that's why I feel like is most, respectable.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe I should do that instead of
I
trying to
mean,
get
that's what
ahead of
I'm
myself.
doing.
I did
Everybody,
it. I just wanted to see how it worked because
yeah,
I didn't know like what it was that you had to do. And apparently, there's certain clear conditions that you have to meet, which
yeah,
I didn't know because it doesn't really like tell you what to do. It just says you can branch off of what
yes.
here,
So
and then
if in that battle, if you click like if you pause the game, it will tell you the conditions of what you have to
oh,
do.
it does.
Yes, yes. So you just gotta
Okay,
pause
so
it and read the conditions and do the conditions. Some of
okay,
them are
so
very specific, and others are just very quick and easy. So you, it's not that hard. People just are like, I don't know what it is with the Dragon Ball community. They're sort of like gatekeeping all the secrets. Like, just talk to us. What's wrong with you?
yeah, we're supposed to be a community, help each other out and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
There are a few good ones out there who are helping people out. As like I sent you a video over TikTok about
yes, you did.
settings and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's definitely gonna help out when I play next.
yes.
Um, so I think, and this is me again as a diehard Dragon Ball fan, and so maybe my opinion might be a little bit different, in that context. I think it's perfect. This is the exact game that I wanted when they first announced this game. Like, it is the definitive Dragon Ball Tenkaichi game. Like, it has so many characters and it has like the same gameplay that you know and love. And I honestly I was worried because it's been so long. It's like, how do you modernize such like an older game um for modern audiences? It's like, how do you do that? And I feel like they nailed it. It's fun like that, and that's the main thing that's hard to like it's hard to nail for a lot of games. Like a lot of games, they're very ambitious, and they tend to like try to be something that it's not.
I think they
Just to
lose their
like,
way along the line.
yeah,
Yeah.
they lose their way in an effort to try and appeal to like certain audiences and new audiences and stuff like that. Like I get that, but at the same time, this is not what that is supposed to be. This game is not supposed to appeal to the broad audience. This is for Tenkaichi fans. Like if you grew up playing these games, that's who it's for. Like that's who the target audience is, and they nailed it because I think we were just talking about it before that like there's so many people playing this game.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just in early access. What was it, like 90,000 or something like that?
Yes, the peak on Steam alone.
On
On
Steam,
Steam
not even
alone,
PlayStation, not Xbox, just Steam.
yeah, on Steam alone, the peak is at 91,005, the all-time peak. It is higher than the current what is it? What game is out right now
I
that's on
well,
Dragon Ball Z?
I,
It
I guess Fighter Z.
yes, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Is way higher than Fighter Z, which has been out for some years, but still very popular in the Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Uh, like all Dragon Ball Z games, not Sparking Z,
Yeah,
Dragon
and
Ball Z, Fighter Z
yeah,
is really popular.
yeah. Fighter Z was like before like the game. Like if you cared about like the fighting aspect.
Yes.
Now, yeah, the fact that it surpassed that just in pre-orders and this is like the Ultimate Edition and stuff, like is amazing. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like when everybody else gets access to it. Um,
Yeah.
and that's one thing too, because like when we talk like we say Fighter Z, like that's a pure fighting game. Like that's what like the pros would be playing and stuff like that, like in
Yeah.
tournaments and stuff like that. So it it fits that, or it serves that purpose. Now this game is purposely um unbalanced because not every character is going to be able to face off against every character. Like in Fighter Z, like you could have freaking Yamcha versus Beerus. That's not like that would never be fair. But in that game, it has to be fair because it's a fighting game. Um, but in this game, like that is a completely opposite. Like if you fought Yamcha or if you fought Beerus with Yamcha, you're gonna get your ass handed to you because like that's just how it is. Um, but the way they do it is they do it in teams. So it's like if you play or if you build your team up properly, you can use a Yamcha as like a starter or whatever, and then finish off with somebody or stronger. Or you can use them as like the buffer in between two strong characters. So it's like there's strategy to this, and they also have a system. I think you have to like choose it. They have a system where you can it's kind of like those things you see online where it's like pick one from each row, and you only got like $15, something like that.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. Like everybody has a cost, and you get up to 15. So if you want to play as just like Gogeta, and then like maybe like base Goku, you can do that. But then that's your team. Like it's only those two. So
Big Yamcha and Jiren.
Yamcha, yeah, Yamcha and Jiren. So you can do that, and it'll work if you pick the right characters that would work together, and if you know their abilities, because like there's so many different abilities that each character has, and it's very like you said, it's very detailed. It's oh my god, I'm like gushing about this game. It's so it's so
Hey, yo.
yeah. I haven't played a game where I'm excited to get home and play it in so long. Like I feel like the last one that I was just like I have to get home and play. I have to be playing it was Elden Ring. That was the last one I was just like I want to keep playing. Um and yeah, this is going to be a very huge time sink for me. Which is not good because I'm trying to bring down my game catalog, my backlog. So, but you know what? I don't care. I love this game. This is it. It would if I gave it a score, it would be I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because there's still some issues that I feel like could be fixed. But honestly, you could probably fix it with like patches and stuff. It's just minor stuff. But if it were me, I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. Like that's how good I think it is. If you're a fan of the Tenkaichi games, this is like the perfect sequel or reboot. I don't know. Um,
I
yeah,
honestly I have to agree with you. It's really really good, really fun. It looks amazing.
and that's
It
yeah, it
it
looks
plays
so
amazing.
good.
It's sort of dispelling that Unreal Engine rumor for Unreal 5, how it's like the stutter engine where everything stutters. I don't feel that playing Sparking Zero. And
Yeah,
that's where I can say like it's really up there. If this comes out for reviews, anything less than a 9.5 or even like a 9.3, it's like it's bullshit. It has to
Yeah,
be that high because it's such a good game.
yeah. And it also dispels the whole like I don't know if you've ever seen it. Like people say, oh, every Unreal Engine game looks the same. Like no, this looks completely different
Yeah.
than anything else in the Unreal Engine. So it's like it's all about how the developers decide to use the engine. It's an engine. It's not like the graphics or the textures or anything like that. It's just the engine that the game runs on. Yes, they can look the same, but it depends on the developer.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah. So this game is just it's so fun. Yeah. There's not much else I can say. It's just if you're debating on it, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I should get this, just do it. Just do it. It's fun.
Just do it. Exactly. Oh man. I guess we'll talk a little bit about because you mentioned it while in the we're talking about what you've been playing with the peak all time peak for Sparking Zero is at 91,000. Um, it really goes to show the sort of like how can I put this, the caliber. It goes to show the kind of caliber that this game is gonna be because at 91,000, that's all time peak before its official release.
Yes.
That's better than Street Fighter 6, which had an all time peak of 70,000. It's better than Mortal Kombat 1, which had an all time peak of 38,000. This is gonna be the fighting game of the ages. I know the peak is gonna get up there, and that's we're just talking about Steam again, not including Xbox, we're not including PlayStation. We don't really get those numbers on the console side, but we know we
Yeah,
can tell by the sales figures that they show and what place they're in on the
most
shop.
played. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
most
say, yeah,
played.
that's how you'll know where it's at
Yeah,
compared to like what other games. Like if it's up there with like a Fortnite and Call of Duty and stuff like that, then you know that people are playing this game.
exactly, exactly. So it's definitely gonna be one for the ages. Man, like I said, at the time of the recording for this podcast, it's not even officially out yet. It is Thursday. It comes out, I think, in actually a few minutes officially.
Oh
So
yeah,
it
6 p.m. We're recording this a little bit earlier than we usually do, but yeah.
yeah. So by 6 p.m. on Thursday, it should be out and ready. You guys can play it if you didn't pre-order the digital deluxe or the ultimate version.
I
So
got the
look,
ultimate version. I had to. I know I'm
wow.
part of the problem.
Boo this man. I'm sorry.
I I had to. I split it with my brother though, so it's
Oh,
not
so
too
you're
bad.
fine. You're
Yeah,
fine.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's a good deal. That's a good deal.
One thing I do want to mention though, because I was scrolling TikTok and I'm seeing like all these because there's stuff I haven't even seen yet.
Mhm.
Like in regards to because I didn't know that if you team up certain people, like they'll interact with each other and they'll
Yeah.
say stuff. I didn't know that. And like there was some where they picked all Kid Goku and then they put Goten in there. And then like the Kid Gokus are like, oh, you're just an imposter and stuff like that. And then when it gets
Yeah.
to Goten, he's like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And
They
then
yeah.
like go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that they also do girl voice. I don't know if you've
Girl
seen
voice?
this. Yes. So
What's that?
while you're picking characters, you can hit girl voice, and they'll have like Chi Chi, Bulma, and like all the females talk about the characters you're picking.
Oh,
It's
for
just
real?
yes, it's actually pretty
Oh my
funny.
God.
It's actually pretty funny.
Now I
Whoever,
gotta do that for every freaking character.
yeah, you're gonna want to
Jeez.
hear what they say. It's actually
All
pretty funny.
182 or something like that, 80 characters. Um,
Yeah, they
yeah, no, that's
definitely
that's
have a
gonna be fun.
lot of content with this game coming out. And
Yeah,
I
and
heard a
then
lot of people upset though that they had to like basically purchase every character with like in-game money.
that's how it
Um,
was in the old game. Like,
yes, yes, but
oh my
also
God.
it's not that hard. I'm not even finished with Goku's storyline, and I already have well over 1 million zenny, and I purchased like 4 characters already. They're not even like super expensive.
And
So
you know
like,
what? What will add on to like you getting a lot of Zenny is they give you, even if you lose, they still give you money, I think,
yeah,
right? So if you just keep losing and retrying, you'll still get it.
yeah. Yeah.
And then
And
obviously you could get the Dragon Balls and get Shenron and wish for characters and stuff. So that's how it was in the old game. Like that's
yeah.
what this is.
You can't please everybody. There's always gonna be some hater out there.
Would they prefer that you just buy the characters with real money?
Yes, they would like take my credit card, Bandai.
Yeah. I'd rather spend $300 to unlock everybody
They
than just to
they
do it the
would.
normal way.
Honestly, people would. They would spend $200 to unlock every single character right away.
Oh, stupid. No, I was gonna say that one thing, because they do, like, when you do like the one-on-ones, like they'll interact with each other, like your opponent. Um some of the lines that they give these characters are so crazy. Like they said, I think again it was Goten. I don't know why they went hard with Goten. For whatever reason, he was saying he was facing Android 18, and then he went oh, Miss 18, she's a baddie. And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
yo. And then like Trunks and Vegeta, and Vegeta says, "Oh, I'll take you to an amusement park if you land a hit on me." And then Trunks says, "For real, no cap?"
No way.
Yeah.
No
Oh my
way.
god. It's hilarious. The like again, the detail that they went into with this game is just it's on a different level. And yeah, I want to play it right now. Can we finish this up? Like
Moving right along.
yeah.
Okay, let's get into some Nintendo hardware news. This is unexpected. I see it's earlier this week they announced some new hardware from Nintendo, but it's not what you think. It's an alarm clock. That's
Yeah.
right. It's a after taxes it's $108 or
Ugh.
109. It's $109 for an alarm clock, and the alarm clock can sync to you with the Super Mario Bros. Theme or Legend of Zelda theme. It has also pictures where you can have like themes in the background. It'll tell you to wake up, and so it's a lot of Nintendo themed stuff for the alarm. It looks weird. It actually kind of looks, I don't know. It looks pretty dope. Now I'm looking at the pictures as we're talking about it, and I'm reading through this article. I'm like, kind of looks fun to have. But the official name is Nintendo. This is a
Alarmo or
Nintendo
something like that?
Alarm. Yeah, Nintendo Alarmo, which is
Yeah.
weird. Nobody's gonna call it that. It's an alarm clock. Um, it looks pretty cool. You control it with the button. You can connect it to your Switch account and have set certain like sounds and things you want it to do. Little lights. It flashes little lights. It'll yell at you to get out of bed. Um, yeah. For $109 for a plastic alarm clock, I don't know if it's worth it though.
Yeah. It's the Nintendo way. Like they try a lot of different things. Like
Yeah.
they have the freaking granted this is not really Nintendo related, but they own majority stake. The Pokemon Sleep
Oh yeah,
stuff.
sleep.
Yeah, it's just they do a lot of weird stuff, and it's like I get they can because they've earned the right to because of how successful they've been,
Yeah.
and it's just why this? Like literally, this is just like a custom alarm clock that can play Nintendo stuff. When you
I got
can do that already on your phone, well,
I
I don't
could
know
do that
about
on my I could do that on my Android. I don't know about
Android.
iPhone.
I was gonna say Android. You probably not iPhone. I mean, you probably could do iPhone, but it's a lot more steps. Um,
I have to pay
yeah,
for it.
or you have to pay for it. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Why? Why Nintendo? Why are you doing this? Like, the sad part is, you know, a lot of people are gonna buy this because it's
Yeah.
Nintendo.
I mean, of course people are gonna buy it. Why wouldn't they? Especially if they're hardcore Nintendo fans. We know how hardcore Nintendo fans can be. Um, I mean, us included. Between us, we have like
I know.
3
Yeah.
switches.
Yeah. I was gonna say like I talk it like this, but I bought 4 Switches. So
Yeah, I think between all of us, we have like 8 Nintendo Switches. Ridiculous.
yeah.
Um, so
And I'm
so
gonna
the
get the two, whenever it decides to come out.
big facts. Let's keep going. We're gonna. So we know people are gonna. We know people are definitely gonna buy it. Uh, and have it, even if it's just for nostalgia reasons, to hear Super Mario Brothers wake you up. Um, the one thing that's cool though, that you don't need Nintendo Switch Online subscription in order to like install future updates or some scenes on the actual alarm clock. It is pretty cool because it's like a full digital alarm clock. It has like little actual scenes and stuff. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You can do this on an Android phone for free. But if, let's say, if somebody has an iPhone, they can't do what we do. They could get a Nintendo alarm clock.
Yeah, just spend $108 because they like giving money away.
Facts. That's what they do. All right, let's jump into some more news about PlayStation 5. So Nixxes, who they port PlayStation games to the PC. That's what they were purchased for, and that's what they just released. Actually, is Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. I think it's coming out at the end of this month.
Yeah.
They just finished that. Are gonna release that game at the end of this month. Looks like Nixxes is gonna be planning some more big PlayStation 5 remasters. I think they're going to be the new remaster studio for PlayStation, and they will take over what's coming in the future because there are more big remasters coming. There's no hope for Bloodborne though.
Yeah.
Sorry, no hope for Bloodborne, but there are some big PlayStation remasters. We don't know anything other than rumors, so we don't want to like say exactly which game is going to be remastered. But when they do release it or leak it, we'll let you guys know. So we're going to be looking to for Nexus for more PlayStation remasters for the PS5 and the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming we joke about the PlayStation remaster Station 5 and stuff like that, but it seems like Sony is actually like leaning into it. Which I get certain games if they're like older, you'd probably want to bring them, but it's the fact that they're bringing games that are like less than a decade old
Yeah.
to PlayStation 5 as a remaster. Like, and yeah, they're sometimes only charging $10 to upgrade if you already own the game. But then there's certain caveats with that, like you can't do it if it's from PS Plus or stuff like that. Like, it's just very convoluted, but maybe on their end they're seeing numbers that will justify it. Maybe it doesn't cost as much to remaster these games. I don't know. We'll never know.
I honestly hope it doesn't. We all know game development costs have been just skyrocketing. It's been kind of crazy. I hope it for these remasters it doesn't cost too much, because if you look at Until Dawn, which just recently released, the remaster for Until Dawn, it released on PC and PS5. It just it's not doing well.
Yeah.
It was less than 400 people playing on Steam, probably even less than that on PlayStation.
I think they
Well,
said it was like 28% less than Concord players.
how could you get less than a dead game? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, in certain instances it works. It just depends on the game. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of PS3 era games, PS2 era games that could use a remaster. Like
Like the
I think
remaster that's coming, the Soul Reaver 1 and 2, that
exactly.
actually deserves a good remaster. Those are really good games. And the fact that they're coming out with a remaster, remake, I think it's a remaster. That's good. That's a good remaster. We don't need Horizon Zero Dawn again.
Yeah.
We don't.
And then there's talk that God of War might be getting a remaster, like the 2018 God
Like,
of War, which is like,
the
why?
2018 they're gonna remaster the 2018 God of War.
There's rumors, yes.
That's absolutely bonkers. Why would they
Yeah,
do that?
that's what I'm saying. It's like
I mean,
there's
remaster 1, 2, and 3. Why 2018?
I don't know, but
Right?
that's again, yeah, no, that makes more sense. Do the original God of War games,
Yes.
not 2018. That's fine.
You could do 1, 2, 3, and like a Chains of Olympus, and put it in a bundle and charge $70 for it. People will buy it.
Yeah. Again,
But
they're not looking at like what makes sense. They're looking at what makes money, and that's I don't know. Again, I don't know if their numbers are saying, yeah, we should probably do more of these recent remasters because people are more willing to buy a more recent game than an older looking game. I don't know what the justification is, but it's I don't like it. And granted, I'm not gonna be buying these games, so it really doesn't affect me. But it's the mentality of it that you're because Sony, for all we joke and stuff like that, Sony is the standard bearer. They lead the industry. They're the industry leader. So whatever Sony does, the industry tends to follow them. In most cases. So if Sony's the one that are doing all these remasters, all that's telling other publishers is that we need to start doing these lazy remasters as well because clearly it's making them money. It'll probably make us some money. That's what I'm afraid of. Same thing with like the price increases and stuff like that. Like people really think that the PS6 is gonna be $700. Like if they're not if they're not lowering the price of the PS5 after the PS5 Pro came out, what makes you think that they're gonna charge the same amount for the PS6? Like, no, they're gonna charge you more because that's what they can get away with, and they're getting away with these remasters. That's what's gonna happen. Like, everybody is gonna follow them. They're gonna just re-release everything, and we're gonna be buying the same game over and over and over and over again. So, I don't like that, and I hope that they use this as a way to just do it for games that make sense. Do Jack and Daxter. Do friggin' Ratchet and Clank. Do games that make sense. Don't do friggin' PS4 games. The only PS4 game that's an exception is Bloodborne, like you said. But they're not going to do it because they hate us. So
They hate us. It's just crazy.
they hate us. But yeah, so we'll see what comes of this, what games they decide to choose. Like I said, it's just rumors. We don't know for sure. But
Yeah.
we'll find out probably in the next state of play, whenever that is.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out. We'll keep moving right along. So Rockstar announced that they're releasing Red Dead Redemption, the first one, on Steam PC for the first time. And it's very unfortunate. We won't get into it. Before we get into like the price of on Steam, they're releasing it October 29th. It is coming out 2-3 days before Horizon Zero Dawn remaster.
Horizon Zero Dawn can never beat. Like, they can never just release by themselves. They always have a game coming out that's potentially bigger.
Yeah. I honestly think that I'm not sure how it will perform against Horizon Zero Dawn, simply for the fact that Red Dead Redemption 1 is for the PC is going to be $50. That's a really high price for a 14-year-old game.
Yeah, even if it's on PC.
Yeah, the game is good, don't get me wrong. But like you could buy the game on consoles for like sometimes $9 when it's on sale.
Yeah. You know what I think the reasoning behind this is because I remember hearing a long time ago that the reason why Red Dead Redemption never came to PC until now was because when they made that game, the coding was like absolutely insane. So what I think is happening is that they had to rewrite the code like from scratch. Like I remember hearing that was one of the reasons. Like they just didn't want to put the effort into it because it wasn't worth it. I think they had to rewrite the code entirely, and that took so much time that they're just like, okay, if we're gonna do this, then we gotta get our money's worth.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's costing as much as it is.
Why would they have to rewrite a code? Aren't these games made basically on a PC anyway?
Well, it's a lot more complicated than that. Like, yes, yeah, you're right. But they're specific for the dev kits of because back then, remember, the 360 and PS3 weren't built like PCs. Not like since the Xbox One and PS4, they're more PC based. And porting is a lot easier now than it was back then. So if a game was being developed for the 360 and PS3, it had to be very specialized, essentially. So yeah, they're running on PCs, but not in the way that you can just make it for a PC, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. I keep forgetting we're talking about a 14-year-old video game here.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. Like, we're literally talking about a video game that came out 14 years ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem. It doesn't like. I get it. I know how time works. I'm getting older. Shut up. The problem is. The problem is you just forget how long ago these games came out. Because what I think it was 2018, 2019 that Red Dead 2 came out.
Um,
And
yeah, I think it was 18, yeah.
yeah, 2018 that Red Dead 2 came out. It's like that's 6 years ago, which is just crazy. These
That
games
is
are
crazy, yeah. I'm thinking about it.
yeah,
Why is time passing so fast?
exactly. I know I'm getting old. I feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I don't know how well it's gonna perform. Because it's $50 at launch. We'll see how well it does. If it comes with all the DLC like Undead Nightmares and all that, I can see that being an okay game. But I think Steam players specifically may wait for a bigger sale. Like they'll wait until it drops down to at least 30.
Yeah. Yeah, because if they waited this long, they could wait a little bit longer.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I wonder how it performs because this game didn't look the best. It looked pretty good, especially for the time. I wonder how it will look and perform on a PC, like on a good PC. You know,
Like how much is it gonna change? Are they gonna keep it like looking the same exact way? Or are they gonna try and like clean it up a little bit? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
And if they don't, then modders will.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't have to wait this long for Red Dead 2 to come to PC.
Is it not on PC already?
Is it? I'm not even sure. I played
Hold
it
on.
only on console, so
Hold on, I'm about to look this up. I could have sworn it came to PC.
I'm not sure. I thought it was only console. The GTA. Rockstar is definitely console based, and they get to PC later, like whenever.
Yeah, it's on PC.
Oh, it is on PC.
Yeah. That was alright. I was like, I could have sworn it already came out on PC.
I guess it's just because it's such an old game, and they, like you said, they had to rewrite everything from beginning to end. So maybe that's why it took so long for this game to go to Steam.
Yeah, again, I think that's what it was, because Red Dead Redemption 2 came out relatively like soon after. But
all right,
yeah, so we'll see how this does, and
I'll definitely keep an eye on it. I love the Red Dead Redemption series.
Oh yeah, no, this is not to say that it isn't worth it. It's just it's a lot of money. And people might not be willing to pay that for, like you said, a 14-year-old game, but it's still worth if you want to play, if you really haven't played it this long and you only want to play it on PC and don't want to have to like rely on them, because that was the only way to play the game was through a PS3 emulator, which took years to get stable. But yeah, I think if you're willing to, pay a little bit extra and don't want to wait for a sale, then yeah, it's a great game.
Definitely. Speaking of great games, let's talk about Halo.
Yes.
So 343 Industries is now going to be rebranding itself to Halo Studios. So they're doing a major shift, major change. 343 Industries is no more. Halo Studios is now the future. They announced several new projects that they're working on. And they will be developing all future Halo games in the Unreal Engine 5. And they came out with a video showcasing landscapes in Unreal 5. And at the end, of course, they showcased Master Chief and how he looks in Unreal 5. And I honestly think it came out in mixed reviews. At least how Master Chief looks. Of course, the scenery looks amazing.
Yeah.
Everything in the background looks awesome. They even showcased the flood coming back, which is dope. Which makes people think that they're going to do Halo Combat Evolved like remaster in Unreal 5. But people were really upset. People were very upset that Master Chief looked too good. Almost if
Too
it was
good.
yeah, they were like there were people wondering if it was AI generated. There were others wondering why does he look like he was never in battle at all? You know, he looked too clean. They said it's
Yeah.
very odd. Halo was never really about the graphics. Sure, it's nice to look at in Unreal 5, but it was never about the graphics. It was always about the story and the gameplay and the fun that you had with your friends playing Halo. So I don't really care how it looks personally. I think Halo looks fine as is now. Of course, it will just look better in Unreal 5, and I hope they take their time with it. I hope Halo Studios really gets down and really start to understand this new Unreal Engine because they've been working with the was it Slip Space engine?
Yeah.
They've been working for that engine for a long time. They've just been upgrading it. So switching to a whole new engine, it could be good or it could end badly. So I hope it does end up well. Halo is sort of that franchise that made me want to get Xbox in the first place and play Xbox with my friends uh in high school and middle school and high school. So this game is it's got to do well and I hope it does well.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of talk regarding this news and what it means going forward and stuff like that. So, um, a lot of people tend to be under the belief that like this is it's just a reskin. Like it's the same 343. We know it's the same. Like it's really not because if you haven't really been paying attention to what's been going on with Halo and 343, you know that essentially they've been cleaning house.
Yep.
So they've been doing, I mean, unfortunately, they've been doing a lot of mass layoffs. They got rid of Bonnie Ross, who was the previous like head of 343. She stepped down, quote unquote, but they got rid of her.
Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Because the main issue is not that she didn't know anything about Halo. I mean, she was there from the beginning, or maybe, I don't know if she was with Bungie, but she was with 343 and like with Xbox for a long time. And so if anybody would have known like Halo, it would have been her. Because she's been with the company for so long. I mean, maybe not. I mean, I'm sure there's others, but like she had a good pedigree. But the problem with her was that she was more focused on building Halo as a brand as opposed to a game. So that's why we got so much emphasis on like the Halo movie when it was first announced, the Halo TV show, that all these other like they were doing the Halo what was it? Mega Bloks game. They were trying to basically partner Halo in doing the Halo novels and stuff like that. They wanted Halo to be like the mega franchise that can like be anything, you know? The problem with that is that she lost focus on the game, the source material, the games itself. And that was what led to issues in the studio because I remember seeing like former 343 developers were saying that one of the biggest issues, which I mean, this is an issue in a lot of workplaces, is that there's no communication from management. Like you're trying to have like this pipeline of stuff that you need to get done, and then you're trying to relay that to management, and they're nowhere to be found, or they never get back to you, or like they're just not hearing it. So I think that was probably the main issue that affected 343. In addition to their and this is more of a Microsoft issue. Microsoft and other publishers do it too. They tend to rely on contractors to help speed up the process of their games. Um, that means like in addition to the developers like at 343, they'll hire on outside contractors to help finish the games essentially. So like with Master Chief Collection, with Halo Infinite, and any other games that they may have been working on, they hire outside talent to work on it with them. The problem with that is that the Slip Space engine is a new engine. It's proprietary, which means that it requires training. Now, because it's a new engine, it can be difficult to learn how to develop for an engine that you never worked on before. Um, so that caused a lot of issues in terms of like timelines. So like they would hire on a contractor, they would learn how to do it. It would take months to learn how to use this engine properly, and let alone like start actually using it and optimizing it. So that cut into the time of the contract. And these contractors are only working 2 or 3 years, whereas a game can take like 5, 6 years, depending on the scale. I know Halo Infinite was, it took, how long did it take? Did they say? It was like something like 8 years or something like that. Something crazy.
Something close to that, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're only having a contractor on for like a few of those years, then they're like that's not really gonna help. So they ran into a lot of issues with timelines and stuff like that. So, and then they had to learn how to use the slip space engine and then optimize it and stuff like it. It was a headache. So that is one of the reasons why they're moving to Unreal, because not only is Unreal easy to develop for, but virtually every developer has experience with Unreal because it's so popular. Like that and Unity are the two main engines that developers probably would know off the bat. Hey, I have experience in this, or I learned how to use this prior. You can even learn it at yourself. Like if you're just like a single person, you can download the Unreal Engine for free and tinker around with it, see how it works and stuff like that. So like it's very accessible. So it hopefully the idea is that because they're moving to Unreal, it'll make things a lot faster and easier for the developers, so that even if they do use contractors, it won't affect anything because those contractors should be trained in Unreal anyway.
I feel like they will still use contractors, but now the contractors will be better equipped.
Yes, exactly. That's precisely. Well, I mean, I don't know for sure. That's just my theory because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But yeah, in terms of how like it looks, like how Master Chief looks and stuff, this is a work in progress. This is not a game. What they showed off is not a game. It's basically a technical preview of something that they are working on. It's like a kind of like a slice of it. Like it's not a finished product. So obviously there's going to be changes and it might not even come out. Like we all assume because of the rumors that they're making a Halo Combat Evolved remaster remake. But we don't know for sure. In the video itself, when they announced the change, that they said this is not a game. This is just a project internally that they're using to basically show that we're changing everything over to Unreal.
That's suspicious.
It could, I mean, yeah, it hasn't really been done like this before. It's very weird. Maybe they're just using that as kind of like a disguise to be like, surprise, we actually were working on this. But if they are, and I know we just got done talking about remasters and how they shouldn't do it and stuff like that. The one thing I do hope that if they are making a remaster, I want them to I want it to be a reboot, or maybe like I don't want to say soft reboot. I want it to be a reboot in the sense that it encompasses everything that we already know about Halo and contextualizes everything. Because like one of the main things that I guess the series struggled with is that it took too long for it to adapt the outside stuff. Now, originally the Halo books weren't canon. I just found that out actually. It wasn't until 343 took over that they decided to make that canon. That's why like Blue Team showed up in Halo 5 because that's the first Halo game. Oh no, it was Halo 4. There was something, maybe it was like the Forerunners and stuff. I don't know. There was something in Halo 4 that was, it took a lot of inspiration from the novel. Same thing with Halo 5 and Infinite and stuff like that. So, if they're going to do a remake, I want them to remake it in the sense of everything that the lore has already has. So stuff like with the flood and like what they're supposed to be doing. Like granted, in Halo 1 you kind of understand where they're at. But stuff like Reach was never really a big factor up until Halo Reach. So um and in the books. So like, and then I want to know more about like Master Chief's backstory and stuff like that because it's very interesting. I remember like seeing a lot of like breakdowns about it because I was really interested to know. I want them to encompass all of that into like the first game. Like just basically reboot it, but with everything that we know. So
That's
to
a
make it
lot.
more flowy. It is a lot. It's a big task. But I think if you're gonna do like it in a reboot, then I feel like it's a lot easier to accomplish than if they were to try and do it like retroactively. You know, like try to like fit it in there. Like, oh, it was always there. You just had to look like no, like just redo it. You know?
I don't know why I feel like your ambition is a lot bigger than theirs.
It probably is. It probably is. But I still feel like that's the best way to go about if they're gonna do a remake. Granted, we don't know for sure. It's strongly hinted at this after this, but I think that's the way to go because I know a lot of people fight, not fight, argue, about like, oh, should Halo be rebooted and stuff like that. I don't think it should be rebooted like cold turkey. I think they should just retell the first game, but with the context of the lore that we know now. I feel like that's not super hard if you have people dedicated to the lore, you know?
True.
But yeah, so that's my feelings. Because I grew up with Halo and like I
Yeah.
want to be excited about Halo again. I haven't really been excited about Halo. Like even Halo Infinite, like yeah, it was cool in the first few months and stuff, but like after a while, it's just like I don't really want to play this no more. Like there's not. I want to feel about Halo the same way I feel about Sparking Zero. Like I want to be gushing over it because of how it made me feel back then. I want to relive that. Hit me with the nostalgia.
Hey, yo, that's 2 in 1 episode. You're in timeout, sir. Let's you know what? I'm with you on that though. Halo was, it's that nostalgic feel. We grew up with it. We want to be back. We want Halo back.
Yes.
Hopefully this new to Halo Studios and the Unreal Engine 5. Hopefully this is a coming back of Halo that we're looking for.
Yes. Well, I mean, we'll see. We don't even know how far along they
Yeah.
are on the next Halo. I think this was kind of like the announcement that, hey, we're making a new Halo game. It might not be what you're seeing, but we're working on it, you know?
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into the last bit of news that we have for this week, and it has to do with rumors and talks of Ubisoft. So you all know Ubisoft has been in a big downward spiral since they launched an investigation, and the board of directors launched an investigation into Ubisoft and its practices and what they can do to sort of make games better because they have not hit the mark on recent releases like Star Wars Outlaws and even things like X Defiant. So they're wondering what they can do. And one of the big rumors that came out last week was that Tencent wanted to just completely buy out Ubisoft. And that's huge. That is
That is
absolutely huge.
insane.
That has ramifications that will be felt within the whole of the gaming industry, not just for Ubisoft. Um, we're also talking about Ubisoft responded to these rumors about Tencent wanting to buy them, and they're like, essentially they were like, we regularly look for things like this. They were like, maybe, who knows, we'll
Yeah.
see. That's what their response is. Like, maybe, yeah, maybe,
Essentially, like, yeah, well, yeah, it could be.
yeah,
Possibly.
which is crazy. I mean, think about it this way: if Ubisoft is brought out by Tencent, will the cloud gaming services that Microsoft sold to Ubisoft go with it, or will that go back to Microsoft? How will that work? So
They're
there's
like,
larger ramifications about this one potential buyout than people may realize.
yeah, I have to imagine that Microsoft is smart enough to include a clause in there if that Ubisoft was acquired, then all the rights for their cloud, the ABK games for cloud would revert back to them. That just seems like a no-brainer because who knows who would buy Ubisoft? I mean, we're talking about Tencent, but it could be anybody. It could be Amazon. It could be Sony. It could I doubt it, but it could be. Um, but it could be anybody. And the worst thing would be for Microsoft to essentially hand over their cloud gaming rights for ABK games to another third party that would potentially use it for nefarious reasons, which is Tencent. Like they probably would take like their games and put them on like rival services and stuff like that. Like granted, maybe Microsoft wants that. I don't know, but it's not to their benefit. So it makes sense why they would want to have a clause in there, protect them. But we don't know. We don't know what the contract says. What I will
Oh,
say though, if Tencent does buy Ubisoft, then that makes Sean Layden the biggest hypocrite in the video game industry. Because Sean Layden, former head of PlayStation, he is currently on the board of directors, or maybe I don't know if he's a board member or if he's just like an what do they call those? They give advice. They're not. What are they? What's that?
a consultant?
A consultant. Yeah, he's a consultant for Tencent's business ventures. And he was the one who said that he was very much against the ABK acquisition because of consolidation within the gaming industry. So if he said that and then Tencent goes and does the same thing that he spoke out against, that's incredibly hypocritical, and he probably should just go offline for a year to make people forget that he said that. But I mean, and he was speaking in general. Obviously, it was because of ABK, but yeah, it's like you said. This, if it were to happen, this could have huge ramifications because now would the CMA get involved because they were so against the FTC? Would they even have a leg to stand on because this is a Chinese company purchasing a French company? Would the French government allow it? Like all this stuff that came into play when Microsoft acquired ABK would eventually or would essentially come back into play, and they would basically have to back up what they were saying before. Because, like, are they against it? Are they for it? Like, what? Why would Microsoft get scrutiny and not Tencent? You know?
Yeah,
So,
but like
a
you
lot of,
said, this is a Chinese company we're talking about. They're on their own rules and laws themselves. Who's to
right.
say that they even have over any of that? They can literally say, "Hey, why you? Because you're shit, and we can make you better." And they may not CMAs, anybody may not have any say. Scary.
Yeah. So, what I've heard is that the idea would be to buy out Ubisoft and bring them back to a private company. So they wouldn't be public anymore. And I don't know what that means. Like, I guess it's to like kind of like save them in a sense to not have to worry about like shareholders and stuff like that, because when you're a public company, you have to basically like the shareholders really like they call the shots. So if Ubisoft went private, they can focus more on different stuff than they were as a public company. That's why we get so many Assassin's Creed games, because they have to make a certain amount of money because their shareholders demand it. So I don't know. It would be a change in culture, and it would be an industry changing move if it were to happen. Now we don't know if it'll happen, but it's just in talks right now. Now I remember hearing rumors that Amazon was gonna buy EA at one point, and then that turned out to be BS. So I don't know. A lot of this, and then like when they announced this, the Ubisoft share prices skyrocketed, and so the shareholders was like, "Yes, please sell because we need our dividends. We want our payouts."
Especially
But
after the rough couple weeks they've had on the stock market themselves. So
yeah, yeah, and even the past few years with their releases, like they haven't been hitting the mark, and that's partially why Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed, because they want this game to be as clean of a launch as possible, and they can't afford to rush it out, you know? So the extra 3 months, while it won't change much, it'll change enough to make sure that this game isn't like super buggy or there's a lot of issues and stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, again, we'll see what happens of this, but if it does happen, it's gonna be another ABK situation. We're gonna be following it. There's probably gonna be lawsuits and stuff like that. So we'll see.
we'll definitely see. I mean, that's all we have for the news. It's been a very light week this week, much like last week. You know, nothing too crazy going on in the gaming world, but enough to keep us coming back week after week.
Yeah, the biggest news was the Halo stuff, but yeah, it was pretty light this week, which I mean, I don't mind at all. I will take light weeks because I'm tired of stressing out about shit. Yeah, so that'll do it for us. Remember, you can like and subscribe if you listen on YouTube. If you listen on the podcast, you can rate us and share us with all of your friends and family. And you can support us by supporting our sponsors, W Energy, NordVPN, and Starforce Systems. All the links are in the description. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.